Have you ever gone on a date with somebody that you were dating, or even with your significant other, that it was embarrassing? Well, in today's episode of our Cheer series, we're going to be telling you about our most embarrassing date.
The lady brought it. Mind you, never go into a place and make your orders without asking for a menu first. Except you have arrived. See me, I never arrived. I am still on my journey.
So stay tuned, because it is funny, and I'm sure you can relate to this as an individual, as a person. So grab your popcorn, grab your wine, grab your juice, grab your smoothie, and come enjoy today's episode with us.
Let me go hide my face.
You are absolutely welcome to today's episode of our Cheer series. This is a series that we have dedicated to talk about our experiences, our opinions on various topics. And if you have any topic you'd like for us to talk about, please leave it in the comment section. But today we are going to be talking about
our most embarrassing dates.
Over to you, because I'd like to hear your view and your opinion of what that episode was.
So I would say, with respect to our relationship, I am the driver. But I've never been in charge of the vehicle.
What do you mean by that?
I'll save the story for later. Okay, for this particular date, this date was designed to happen immediately after an interview. So she had an interview.
Oh God.
It was one of these nursing interviews. Nursing in Nigeria is something else, honestly. I mean, there are a few places you could work as a nurse and probably appreciate the work you do with respect to how much pay you get. And most of the places in Nigeria where you work, I think it's just nurse abuse. The salary is ridiculous. So on this Saturday, I think, she had a nursing interview close to my side of town. And I was like, hey, you're coming to my side of town. Let me be in charge. Welcome on board. I went for the interview with her. I was loving hard. So we went there together. For me, I know everywhere. Showing her road, this is where you go, this is where you turn, this is the spot. That interview itself, I think, is something we should talk about. Like I say, my heart goes out to nurses in Nigeria. Like, they're really suffering.
I think it's because he's married to a nurse.
Oh, now leads for you guys. After the interview, we were supposed to have these dates as pre-discussed by both of us. And I like to walk. She does not like to walk. Funny enough, if you see her in her office, I mean in the hospital, she walks a lot and she walks quite purposefully. So she's headed for that direction, she's headed there, and she's striding. Like, she really moves. Outside of work, she doesn't like to walk. Like, it's funny. So I was like, let's walk down to where we were supposed to have this date. And for some weird reasons, the spot I picked out was closed.
Yeah, that's true.
And I was like, oh my goodness, I do not know what to do now. Now, there are a few other gardens around this area. And I was like, I know this one. I don't know the rest. Although I know there are a few other gardens around this area. Well, I told her, let's just walk to another one. At this point, she was getting tired and she said her legs were beginning to hurt.
I mean, I practically went for an interview where it was just very disappointing. They were offering me 50,000 naira for 12-hour shifts that you have to be working for 5 days a week. And I'm like, I just want to go home and rest. Not walking around the streets of Abuja to go look for somewhere to hang out. So I was practically disappointed first off, and then tired and hungry. And you know how somebody can be when the person is hungry. So yes, I was.
By the way, what is the worst salary offer you've ever been given?
Oh,
please put it in the comment section next year and tell us the job role, please.
Yes. So like job, country, and salary.
Anyways, she was beginning to complain that her foot were swollen and it was beginning to hurt. And I was like, could you just find a garden, any garden, and step in there? So we found one and we got into the garden. Funny enough, this spot was not just anywhere at the entrance of the garden, somewhere inside.
Yeah.
So we kept walking in and walking in. In my mind, I was like, at least she's going to relax and have a nice time. So we walked in further into the garden, and we saw this, is it kind of like ribbon or an arc rather?
Yeah.
An arc with flowers. Then you go through that. The next thing I saw that began to look a bit discouraging, I noticed that garden was probably populated by white people at the time. If you're in Nigeria, you know what it means. When a space is populated by white people, Sounds like, how expensive could it be? Let's relax and eat something.
Yeah, I think they were even doing something called paint and sip. They were painting a picture and they were sipping wine and drinking wine as well. So it was like outside of the area where there was like an indoor area or an indoor space, and then there was like an outdoor space. So outdoor they were sipping and they were painting. So they're doing sip and paint.
I've never been to a sip and paint before.
We should go for one. Honestly, we should go for one.
Oh
I think there are quite a number of them here in London. We should go for one.
Okay, that'll be interesting. Well, that was my first time I've seen anything like that in Nigeria. But I was like, I didn't come for painting. I didn't come for all these other side attractions. We came to eat. Let's relax and eat. So eventually we went into the eatery itself and we were relaxed. We sat down. We looked at the space. Really clean, excellently organized, beautiful. In fact, the interior alone was not your usual eatery you'd find everywhere in Nigeria. The designs were really specific, the wood they used, it was really good. And we're like, where's the list? So I beckoned to the girl who was in charge, basically, the waitress. I beckoned to her and I was like, please get us the menu. And the lady brought it. Mind you, never go into a place and leave your orders without asking for a menu first. Except you have arrived. See me, I never arrived. I am still on my journey. And that was my day. So we went in, I requested for the menu and I looked through it. I looked through the menu, I was not happy. I was not happy. It was just me. It would have been okay. But I was with my babe. And looking through the menu, I didn't know what to say. So I gave it to her. I was like, babe, look at this menu. See what they are saying. So it wouldn't just be it's just me or I'm folding my hand. So when you look through the menu, how did you feel?
I was like, well, it's okay. It might be a good price, but I try to be considerate. So if I can afford something, I don't know if the other party can afford it. So I try as much as I can not to shoot, should I say, overboard when I'm out with someone. And in my head, I was trying to wonder, does he have enough cash on him? Is he going to be able to pay for these things? Because I've always thought when you go out, you should not spend more than what you can afford. And I'm looking for a job, as at that point in time, I was looking for a job. And I was like, okay, these prices were outrageous. How would you tell me for one meat pie, a fish pie, I should come and pay 5,000 naira for fish pie?
And that's about one of the cheapest things on those menu. Like when you're just going for the cheap things, you don't want to spend money there. I saw fish pie 5K. For what now? I've concluded in my mind before I passed the menu to her. I'm not spending a dime here. At this point in my life, it is not my level. Let me go and find my level. Like,
bottle of water then was about 500 to 1,000.
Yeah, this was not yesterday. This was like, was
years and years ago.
Like some years ago.
5 years ago.
And I was looking at bottle of water, 1,000. I can't remember how much a bottle of 500. I can't remember how much a bottle of water was then. Was it like 50 naira or so?
I think so. I think it's about 50, maybe 50 to 100 naira.
Yeah, and I was seeing 500. Then meat pie was about 4 something to 5,000. And I'm looking at the other options. I said to her, so sorry I've brought you here. But we can't afford this place.
I mean, it was innocent.
I was straight to the point. Like, I wasn't beating around the bush. Looking at the price, if we had meat pie, both of us, that was 10K already. As at the time, I couldn't spend 10K for meat pie that will not give eternal life. No way I couldn't. So I looked at her and I apologized. She was not happy because we've walked some distance to get there. She wasn't happy and she wanted to probably eat something, even if it's little. And I was like, we can't spend that money here, or we can't afford it, basically. Or I can't afford it, to be fair. So she was like, okay, yeah, she understands. And I think we took a few pictures just of this space and we left. I think we took the pictures before we requested for the menu, to be honest. So we left and all of a sudden, I knew I was on a limited time span now before the person who had been for an interview and the interview did not go well, worked a bit, had complained about food ache, and now relaxed to eat. You know, when you set your mind to eat something, only for somebody to say to you, you are not having that. Irrespective of the reason, you don't care. So I knew I was on a very limited timeline. Then I started thinking fast, where do I get out to that we could have something to eat? I can't remember how I came up with the idea. We somehow found ourselves at one spot, one grilled fish spot, like mad. All those Nigerian grilled catfish.
Oh my God.
Different sides.
Lord, I tell you, this is something I miss. I miss that. And it's not something you can get easily here. So I've decided to start making my own grilled fish. And I make my own grilled, I think I try.
Oh, fantastic.
Thank you. So I make my own grilled fish to give me that feeling, you know, to give me that excitement of eating grilled fish. So I do not take fish pepper soup, boiled fish or anything like that. I don't like the taste. And when we went to that grilled fish spot, I was like, I was so excited.
It was brain busting. Now, this is the trick, guys. Normally, that's a very embarrassing moment for the guy. To be honest, I wasn't embarrassed because I was like, this is me. This is who I am. It's either you like it or you don't. I think technically she felt a bit embarrassed because we've gone in and we're not eating, plus the disappointment of all the other things. So we left out, found our way to the grilled fish spot, bought grilled fish for less than the total sum I would have spent there. And this was much more with respect to what you have to eat. It's a massive, mighty grilled fish with fruits by the side and chips and plantains. Really lovely. So we had that and gisted and relaxed. So the evening went very well. At some point, I did chip in. I was a bit cheeky. I was like, aren't you glad we came here? The look alone.
You really did not want me to give you that look.
I was like, be careful. Be very careful. So that was it. The end part of the evening went really well. And afterwards, she booked an Uber home. And that was the end. So that was our most embarrassing story.
I mean, this is something that happens to every individual, every person.
Yeah, maybe not every person.
Okay, so let's say majority of people. It happens. It's something people can relate with.
For those who haven't arrived.
Even people who have arrived, because what might be embarrassing to you might not be embarrassing to someone else, but they would have their own category, their own level of embarrassment that they would experience as well. And the embarrassment can come in different form, in different shape, in different sizes. One thing I liked about the whole experience was the fact that he was honest and he was open about what it is that he could afford and what he could not afford. And I tried to be understanding, like the understanding girlfriend I was and the wife I am right now. I tried to be understanding as compared to some situation where someone would like, oh no, you must buy this for me, you must buy that for me, and you will stick to buying something that you cannot afford, and then you end up being so broke that you are unable to find your way back home. That's not something you want to find yourself doing. So in as much as this might not be embarrassing situation for everybody.
Oh, you were embarrassed?
For everybody. Yes, I was embarrassed and I was disappointed.
I refused to be embarrassed. That was it for me. I refused to, because you can't start with what you can't complete, or you shouldn't start with what you can't finish. Exactly. So I knew I couldn't keep up with that pace if I started on it. So yeah, so I just refused to. I refused to be pressured into it. And you know how it is. The pressure is not pronounced. It's quite subtle. It's in the look. It's in the demeanor. It's in the body expression. It's in the little nudges. Why don't you just, I refused. I was honest. I was plain. I put my foot down. We go somewhere else. So if you're happy with me this way, yes, good for us. If you aren't, then we go our separate ways. So for me, I would say, what is one of those embarrassing moments for you on a date? Could you please share on the comment section?
I mean, you should have, you might have, maybe you don't have, but we'd love to hear your experiences and we'd love to hear your opinions as well. Did you think we handled it well? Do you think we could have done better? What do you think would have been the best option? Because I personally felt like we handled it well, and we were able to make the right decision of leaving that area because it was too expensive and going somewhere else, where we ended up having a great time together. So if you were in our shoes, what would you have done? Do leave your thoughts in the comment section. thank you all so much for enjoying today's episode with us. And if you have not seen our other episodes, what are you waiting for? They are amazing episodes. Go binge watch on them, and I will link it in today's video, also leaving it in the comment section. Do watch, do leave your thoughts, do leave your comments, do leave your shares, your likes, and subscribe to the channel as well. Our Cheer series is a series that we have decided to talk about our experiences, our opinions on things, where we will learn from each other. So it's not just us dishing out stories or telling information, but we also want to learn from you and hear about your experiences as well. So if you have any topic or any opinion that you want us to talk about here on the Cheer series, do leave it in the comment section, and we will be more than happy to talk about that for you.
Yeah, we will. Until next time, have a great evening.
Bye-bye.
Bye.